Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. Hope you're having a great July weekend so far. Despite everything going on right now, you do deserve to find some happiness, of course, among all this craziness and to spend time with those who matter. So I trust you're making the most of it. And thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out, episode 153. Whether you're listening on your local radio station or in podcast form, happy to have you along. On today's show, we're going to kick things off in a moment with Thermal Guard. It's a device that takes your temperature without needing a human to do it. So when you get to work, the office building, or you walk into a mall or what have you. And speaking of COVID, we're going to talk about loneliness and isolation and how many are now turning to websites and apps to meet friends. And not just for dating, but meeting friends, at least online for now. So we'll learn about FriendMatch. Then we're going to chat with Amber Mack, a tech expert, about staying connected with family through video chatting. And I'll discuss some summer staycation tech that you may want to get your hands on. All of this and more on this weekend's new Tech It Out, powered by ASUS. I'll tell you more about them shortly, but let's get to our first interview. As we slowly return back to some sense of normalcy post-COVID-19, numerous safeguards could help prevent the spread of other viruses and such. And that includes a new screening device we're going to hear about now called Thermal Guard. Joining us on the line to explain what it is, who it's for, and how it works, we've got Mitch Siboney with us. He's the co-founder of My Thermal Guard, the company behind Thermal Guard, and the website is mythermalguard.com. Welcome to the show, Mitch. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mark. Very honored to be here today. I'm actually a big fan of yours for many years and all your work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. All right, Mitch. So it's been said that good technology solves a problem. So please tell us how COVID-19 changes how businesses should operate going forward.
Well, Mark, nowadays with this current pandemic we're facing, it's crucial that people find ways and that companies find ways to bring back their staff and their employees to make sure that people come back to work safely. They return to work without a fever, essentially, is one of the indicators here. And, it's really just instilling confidence for staff to be able to work with their coworkers side by side and get back, and that's the main concern where businesses are trying to implement nowadays. They're just, as you see, people are working now from home. That's working quite well, but some companies need to be there. You have to have people preparing your foods, or some offices require you there. We are trying to take steps to help people create a safer work environment overall.
Okay, so with that in mind, please tell us what Thermal Guard is all about. So this is a screening device that can take your temperature and more, correct?
Yes, that's correct. The Thermal Guard screening device, it's meant essentially to replace what some might see as a dangerous job of people standing there typically with one of those handheld temperature guns.
I just had that at my dentist, yes.
Yeah, it's not always the best experience for some people. It's they're invasive a little bit. They're in your social distancing space. They're a little bit close, and it puts both people at risk to some degree. Now, on top of that, this is more than just a typical fever check, our device. It offers other features, which I can fill you in on. But
sure.
Essentially, it's really designed to create a touchless, 100% touchless screening experience, essentially. And this is no more complicated than taking a selfie. You walk right up to it. Within 1 second, it takes your temperature. Those thermal guns, aside from the fact that, they're getting a little close to you, they are also notorious for being inaccurate due to the fact that you have batteries required and recalibrating the device, whereas our Thermal Guard, it runs a constant source of power and it's plugged in, essentially designed to run 24/7. As well, those thermal guns, not to mention, people think that they're, not too expensive. You can buy them for a few $100s to a few $1,000s. However, they don't point themselves, those thermal guns. They have to have somebody manned, and you have to pay someone, shift worker, for example, that could cost you $200-$300 per shift. Just to point this thing all day, whereas one of our devices will be paid off within less than 2 weeks for something like that, basically.
Okay, so you've made a compelling argument about thermal guard versus a thermal gun or some sort of temperature taker that requires a human to administer. But what about thermal guard compared to other screening devices that are available?
Well, as far as the other screening devices, this one is something that is, again, this is much more than just a screening device or a fever check. Mm-hmm. This was designed in place to have features such as time stamping feature that ours has. It also has a mask detection technology available on there, which can be toggled on or off when eventually the laws change. As you know, right across North America, the laws are getting more and more strict to not enter indoor spaces without a mask. So essentially, this will detect whether you, at the same time as checking your temperature, it will also detect whether or not you have a mask in place. And this is just one of the many features. We also can connect this to their maglock system. The security doors won't open if you have a fever. And again, with the time stamping feature, it's great because we have our own software that it integrates with the system, and when people check their temperature twice a day, essentially is punching the clock. And that software can be uploaded, via Excel file, for example, to the payroll department. So we have many different features that it's much more than just a fever check device.
Yeah, clever. We're chatting with Mitch Siboney. He is co-founder of My Thermal Guard, the company behind the Thermal Guard product. This is a screening device used at businesses or anytime that customers or employees are congregating. So, Mitch, with that in mind, can you give us some examples of the industries that this is for? So I can see like an office building having this at the front door or the back door near a garage where someone's going to walk up to their floor. But it could also be used in like malls, doctors' offices, things like that, right?
Yeah, well, that's 100% correct. Our clients and our customers are quite a range. I've never experienced, in all my years seeing something like this. This applies to every business, essentially, who have employees and they just want to get them back safely and working with each other in a safe environment. It's also a big deal that the customer feels that when they go to a hotel, for example, that the people have been checked in housekeeping. You don't want someone with a fever, cleaning your sheets and your pillow, or someone preparing, or in a restaurant, someone preparing your pizza pie and they have a fever. So at the end of the day, our client list is quite vast in the sense that we are dealing with right now with governments. We are dealing with hotels, from fitness gyms to manufacturing warehouses, dental offices, medical retail locations. It's quite extensive.
Breweries, you told me. Off the air. That's great.
For sure, we do. We have them as well. We have distilleries, and again, this is an environment. If you're working in a factory, you don't want to be working side by side.
Sure.
With somebody with a fever.
No,
we don't make any. In this case, we don't make any claims. This is not a COVID test. One day, hopefully, we'll have an instant COVID test. But until then, we like to say, look, anybody who comes to work with a fever, they're not bringing you anything positive. I assure you it's not like a piece of chocolate cake or something. You're going to walk away with, if they have a fever, you're going to leave with maybe a pneumonia or a flu,
right? Something
not pleasant. That's all I can say.
And I was just going to clarify to the listeners that this isn't a COVID test from what I understand. It is a fever test, and that could be a symptom to many different things. But nevertheless, it's still good to know. So if somebody is asymptomatic and they do have COVID-19, it is not going to stop them at the door, so to speak. But there is no perfect silver bullet here. But because this is radio, Mitch, can you explain what it looks like? I believe that you can mount it to a wall or it's on a stand, but it looks kind of like a tablet with a camera on top.
Yes, that's for sure. It's and people can see it and have a look at it at the mythermalguard.com. It does essentially look like a tablet. It's one of the more attractive ones on the market. Now, bear in mind, this device was created many years ago. This technology, I should say. Right. Our device is more of a modern take on it with more robust features that we have implemented into our system. However, this technology has been around for over 10, 15 years. Back in the day when SARS was a threat to people,
sure.
And Ebola, and back in Asia and Europe, they implemented these devices a long time ago. So it's, time for North America, I think, to at least address this concern to some degree. Again, it's an indicator of COVID. The other symptoms you have when dealing with COVID are quite hard to measure, and you can't tell, if somebody has shortness of breath or loss of taste or smell.
Right.
They are very, very difficult symptoms. So the number one indicator for the influenza is typically having your temperature taken.
Got it.
That being said, you don't want to be in a supermarket and have somebody with a fever shopping right beside you, no different than someone working beside you.
Okay, Mitch, so as we wrap up, how much does Thermal Guard cost? And I'm assuming that there is some sort of bulk discount if it's someone listening that runs a chain of restaurants or something like that. But can you give us an approximation?
Of course, most certainly. On our website, we're selling them currently, and they're selling at $2,400 approximately. We have the stands are sold separately. The device comes with the wall mount, and we are selling couple different stands and a tabletop version, depending on the nature of their business. People like the stands as they're more modular and there's no installation required.
Right.
That's the beauty of the product, is that it is a straightforward, very user-friendly, plug-and-play device. You don't need an IT person. It's not required or any special installation. You can just plug this thing in and it's working instantly.
So all you need is power and Wi-Fi.
That is correct. Exactly.
Okay. Great. Mitch Sibone, thank you so much, and congratulations on the success of Thermal Guard. I hope it continues to do well for you. As I mentioned, it's helping us get back to some sort of normalcy as we open up society and we get back to work and we get back to restaurants and bars and what have you. So I can see the usefulness of this device. So wishing you continued success. Thank you very much, Mitch. Stay healthy.
I thank you very much for your time, Mark. It's been a pleasure being here today. Thank you.
You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, powered by ASUS. For those in search of incredible, ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops, desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. Especially since the start of the COVID-19 crisis, many of us are feeling alone and isolated and anxious. And this could especially be true for single folks, maybe moved to a new city for work and they just don't know anyone yet. So if there are dating apps and websites, why shouldn't tech also be able to help forge friendships as well? So we're now going to learn about the aptly named FriendMatch with its creator, Katie Hartle. Welcome to the show, Katie. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Okay, great. So before we talk about FriendMatch, please talk to us about COVID-19 and loneliness. No doubt there's a correlation there.
There definitely is. The thing is that loneliness has actually been a growing global problem already, even before COVID-19 hit. So it's already been something concerning around the world, affecting both men and women almost equally, with men slightly more affected than women.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. And you know what else is? Middle-aged people are actually reporting more loneliness than senior citizens, which I think some people find surprising. And young people are actually reporting more loneliness than the middle-aged.
Ah, okay. Wow. And when you say young, do you mean like 20-something, 30-something, or even younger? Yeah?
Yeah,
okay.
But based on these numbers and based on the study reporting this, which was a recent study, what this shows is that this is becoming a growing problem, and it's likely to only get worse. And this is actually even before COVID-19 hit. That study was actually conducted by the BBC in a study called the Loneliness Experiment. It was done in 2020. There were more than 46,000 volunteers in 237 different countries. So what this shows to us at FriendMatch is that loneliness is getting worse, not better, in the world. In the United Kingdom, they have appointed a minister of loneliness to deal with the issue. And in the United States, the U.S. Surgeon General actually declared loneliness to be an epidemic, more dangerous than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So this was already something that is showing great concern around countries in the world, and also concerns with health, because we see that there are actually real health effects happening from loneliness, and this is why it was the Surgeon General who was making this warning. So we wonder, why is this happening? And studies showed that it's happening more in industrial developed countries, which focus more on individual success and achievement. We're really busy, such as in the U.S., the United Kingdom, and Canada, than in countries where there's more focus on perhaps the welfare of your community. One example cited in the study was, for example, Guatemala. But your question was about COVID-19, and how is COVID-19 making things worse? There's actually a lot of ways that we believe that COVID-19, we're going to see some far-reaching effects from some of the things happening from COVID-19 around the world. And to list off just a few, we have worldwide stay-at-home orders. I think you mentioned that in your intro. So when we're kind of being ordered to stay at home, we're literally being isolated. And this is especially bad if you live alone. And in these industrial countries, United States, Canada, the UK, more and more people actually live alone now than ever before. So now you live alone and you're isolating by yourself. So this is probably not good. There's another point where you're afraid of when you do go out, when you go to the store, when you go and run some errands, you're worried because we've been told that even being asymptomatic, you could possibly spread the virus. And so what we are worried about here at FriendMatch is that we might be starting to develop a bit of a fear of each other. So when we're going out, we might not be as socially outgoing as we normally would. And this could lead to even increased feelings of loneliness. And finally, social distancing. So this is a term that is actually very isolating, even just in the words. The World Health Organization actually changed the term, midway through the pandemic, and they are now encouraging us to use the words physical distancing instead of social.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you could still say social online, like through video chatting, and you just have to physically keep your distance.
Exactly.
Especially if you're not wearing a mask. Yeah. And I would even add on to all that, Katie, that financial strain is a real thing. So that all paints the picture of the problem, but it's a good segue to introduce FriendMatch. So what is this service all about?
Right. So when we go to FriendMatch, because the thing is, some people might think or even start looking for their social interaction online using those traditional social networks. The thing is, a lot of the traditional social networks, and by traditional, I don't know if I'm using that term ironically, but Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook.
The classics.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I know what you mean. We are using apps and websites to connect with people. It's very convenient, obviously.
Exactly. Now, as much as it's actually more convenient, unfortunately, you want to be careful with how you use online tools, online tech to replace your social interactions, because there have been study after study showing that using a traditional social network such as Facebook, Instagram, can actually lead to increased feelings of isolation and loneliness.
Okay, Katie, we've set this up pretty well. So when we return, we're going to talk about how FriendMatch can fix a lot of these issues going on for those feeling isolated and alone, and those just looking for a friend, even if it's online only. So when we return, more with Katie from FriendMatch. So stay with us on Tech It Out.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We're chatting with Katie Hartle from FriendMatch about what this site is all about and how it could be even more helpful now than ever before because of what's happening in the world. So what is FriendMatch all about?
So FriendMatch is actually exactly what it sounds like. It works similar to an online matchmaking or a dating website or app, but it is for friends instead of for romance. So it's worldwide. You can meet people from anywhere around the world or locally from your own community. Everything about it is designed to make it easy to find and make new friends. So you sign up, you create a profile for yourself, but instead of saying, for example, like you would on a dating site, what your height and weight are, you share information about yourself, such as what kinds of friends you're looking for. what your interests and hobbies are, and what kinds of things you'd like to do with the friends you find on FriendMatch. So this might mean using the site to find a friend with common interests, like a running friend or someone who has a similar lifestyle to yourself. When you go online and to a dating site, for example, the idea is you only want to use it once, right? And then you're done with it. But that's not the same for FriendMatch. You can use it over and over again because you can have more than one friend. This might mean using this. We have some members who are looking for examples for married friends to hang out with as couples, but we also have members who are looking to connect with other friends who have, well, everything from children the same age, or on the other hand, some people don't have kids, don't want kids, and when it feels like all the friends they have are having kids, they want FriendMatch to meet some new child-free friends. So even if you have friends, that doesn't mean you're not necessarily looking for more friends. FriendMatch has seen a growth surge since COVID-19 because it's a friendship technology that can use online, so from your computer, from your phone. And actually, most of our users, 75%, in a recent poll, are looking for someone to connect with online. So meeting up in person is not a priority at this time for most of our members, but finding someone to connect with and have genuine conversations with is. Another thing I think that we're finding with the COVID FriendMatch connection is a lot of us love to travel, and with borders closed and restaurants closed and all these different kinds of restrictions happening around the world, if you're missing travel, some people will find that you can use FriendMatch as a way to explore cultures around the world. Most of our members are actually looking to meet people from around the world, so it's not only a way to kind of be an armchair traveler during the pandemic with so many borders shut down, but you might meet friends you can visit in the future too. You can travel again.
So here I'm using air quotes around the word friend. So it's not a euphemism for hooking up. Like, this isn't like Tinder or Grindr or anything. It really is, especially now that it's mostly online for obvious reasons. This is really just to forge friendships. And is there any stigma surrounding using a website or an app? And I should ask you if it's both, in order to find new friends, or is, because I remember when online dating first started, people were thinking, oh, that's desperate. It's better to meet somebody in person or to be, hooked up by friends, mutual friends. But is there really no stigma for any of this?
There isn't. I know that there could be maybe some stigma around feeling like you're lonely or something like that, but that's clearly an increasing issue that's affecting more and more people, so I think that's not an issue anymore. As far as the stigma of meeting someone online, I believe that in these recent times that has become completely normalized. Even 10 years ago, Match.com was releasing data saying that 1 in 4 relationships is now made online. So I think online dating has really paved the way for that concept of finding a new person that you want to have some kind of relationship with, but finding them online. You know what? We're busy. We're really busy, and we're kind of used to using the internet and technology to solve a lot of our other problems. So whether we're looking for a date, whether we're looking to go shopping, why shouldn't the internet also help us to make friends?
Fair enough. So it is for platonic reasons as well, and in many cases virtual or online friendships, as you're saying. Is FriendMatch an app, or is it a website only that you can also access on your phone, of course?
You got it. FriendMatch is currently a website. You can access it on a phone, iPad, tablet. We are actually developing an app right now, and that should be released before the end of summer.
Great.
Fingers crossed.
We're chatting with Katie Hartle. She's the creator of FriendMatch. This is an online service that, as the name suggests, matches you with potential friends based on where you live or what kind of a friendship you're looking for. Maybe it's someone in another country, whether you want to find someone with similar interests or someone who also has a similar lifestyle, like couples who want to hang out when the pandemic blows over, or those who want to chat with other people who also don't have kids, and you get the idea. And how many people are using FriendMatch at this point, and how many countries are you in?
We're a global friendship service, and we're in more than 40 countries worldwide. The majority of our members are in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, and really more than 5 million people have found us, and this is just, I think, really evident of the need for a service like FriendMatch. the way most of our members are finding us is literally by Googling some version of how to make friends or how to make friends online.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. Yeah. And how much does it cost to get going? And I guess the website is friendmatch.com, but is there any cost? Is it an ongoing subscription if there's a cost?
You got it. We used to charge it was a bit of a freemium model where you would be able to send a certain number of messages, make a certain number of friendships on the site for free, and then you would pay more to get more messages, meet more friends, that kind of thing. But with the increased demand from COVID and with our sympathies for the increased need for such a service, we actually recently switched to a advertising supported model. So now you can actually sign up. You got it, at friendmatch.com, and it's free to use.
Okay, friendmatch.com. It's an ad-supported model, so it's free to use. And is there a minimum age you're looking for, like 18?
You got it. Yeah. Right now we're restricting it to 18, just to be extra cautious and safe.
Sounds great, Katie. Congratulations, friendmatch.com. I appreciate your time. All the best. And stay healthy.
Thank you. I appreciate yours.
You're listening to Tech It Out, powered by WD. Western Digital, and their WD Black P10 game drive. It's about the size of a deck of cards, and it's super durable and a fast external hard drive designed for gamers, whether you're gaming on the go on a laptop or maybe at home on a laptop or desktop or maybe an Xbox. Simply plug it in. It can store up to 125 games with its up to 5 terabytes of storage, and that's for $149, or you can spend just $89 on 2 terabytes if that's all your budget dictates. But again, it's the WD Black P10 game drive. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stick with us.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, powered by Asus. Asus creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. Visit asus.com/US/radio to check out all their laptops and desktops and accessories. That's asus.com/US/radio. Who knew phrases like self-isolation and social distancing would be in our vernacular in 2020? I don't think anyone could have anticipated today's situation. But at the very least, technology can play a key role in staying social, entertained, fit, and productive too, for those who still have to work, of course. So who better to talk to about tech as an enabler than Amber Mack, celebrated author, speaker, TV, and radio personality. Welcome back to the show, Amber.
Thanks so much for having me, Mark.
Thanks to technology, there's certainly lots we can do that, even just a couple of years ago wasn't possible. For one, the phrase social isolation, as I said earlier, it doesn't mean you need to be alone, though. What can we do to stay in touch with our loved ones, like our friends, our family?
I think you're exactly right. I think there's a lot of people right now who are feeling really disconnected, especially if you're living alone and you aren't able to leave your house. So at the end of the day, there are many ways that we can stay connected. And I think for some people, maybe who aren't as internet savvy, it could be as easy as picking up the phone and calling that person that you haven't called in a while. And for those of us who perhaps are a little more tech savvy and use tools such as software for video calls, you can even use things such as Apple's FaceTime. I don't know if people realize this, but you can chat with up to 32 people at the same time, which is excessive. I wouldn't recommend that. But if you have family members you're worried about, this is a great way to stay in touch and actually see people through video so you do feel less distance.
Yeah, that's a great point. My wife and 7 other friends meet every night at 8 o'clock for a chat. Some may have a glass of wine in their hand. They have a couple of laughs. I mean, I think it's something to look forward to, despite having to be self-isolated or in quarantine. So I think that's a great point. Whether it's FaceTime, it could be Skype, it could be WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, the list goes on and on. There's a lot of free options out there. With many of us holed up at home, we could probably get some help to stay in shape because we're not outside as much. Tell us about some online fitness options available.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the most important things that people can do right now is I think we underestimate how much we usually move around, whether it's walking to our car or up a flight of stairs when we're going to work. But all of a sudden, many of us folks are at home and not getting any exercise and not really moving. And the good news is that there are a couple of things you can do. One is to check out your local gyms. Many gyms are offering free online fitness classes, which is a fantastic way to stay in shape and feel as though you're part of a community. But there's also a couple of apps that I'd like to recommend. There's one called a 7-minute workout, which for many people, 7 minutes is not a big part of your day. And there's another one that I've used a lot in the past, and it's called Sworkit. That's SWORKIT. And that's another app that allows you to do those at-home workouts. And I think it's critical for people during this time, as easy as it might seem to just sit back and binge your favorite shows, remember that having a healthy mind and healthy body is really critical right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say also, it's not just for your body, but for your mind as well. So these are some great tips. Yeah, I know Planet Fitness, for example, is offering Facebook live exercise classes every day at 7 p.m. Eastern or 4 p.m. Pacific. So that's certainly one company that has, pardon the pun, stepped it up. And as you mentioned, there are many others, as well as on-demand videos that aren't live, but they're certainly free apps. I do like that 7-minute workout one as well. But you did talk about binging, and it is great, I think, at the very least, that not only do we have access to what's on TV, like cable or your local broadcast, but streaming video services are where it's at. The likes of Netflix and Amazon Prime Video and Disney Plus and Apple TV Plus. So no shortage of streaming services, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there are many shows that you can watch and catch up on. And I think for a lot of people, that's probably what they're doing right now just to pass the time. But I will say that also a reminder that even when we think about Netflix, there are plenty of documentaries on Netflix that can be educational as well and great for those younger kids in your house. Like there's also lots of kids shows that can be shows that will help them learn during this time when they're off school. And I do want to recommend a website which you probably know, Mark, called Common Sense Media. And I'm a big fan of theirs. What they have is recommendations as far as all of the different shows and movies that exist online on platforms like Netflix and beyond. Mm-hmm. And they give them ratings as far as how appropriate they are for kids. And they also have great ideas in terms of entertainment for kids who are off school right now.
Yeah, I write for Common Sense Media, so I'm glad that you called them out. Specifically, I write their video game reviews, but through a parent's lens. But yeah, so there's video streaming services, there's video games, of course, downloadable ebooks to help you stay entertained on, to read on a tablet or an e-reader. So there's not too much to complain about there. We are chatting with Amber Mack, celebrated author, speaker, TV and radio personality. We're talking about ways to stay sane and entertained, fit, social, and even productive while you're working at home, something that I know both of us work from home often. So I'm sure you've got some tips to getting your work done while in a home environment, which is new. It's novel for many of our listeners out there right now.
Absolutely. And I think a big thing, especially for employees who are perhaps asked to work from home right now, that you may be video conferencing. And I think what we've really seen is, aside from Skype video, Zoom has really come into its own as the platform of choice for a lot of workers. So that's one option in terms of easy video conferencing. I would also mention that it's really important as far as that collaboration and contact with people. I know within our small business, since we're all working from home, we rely on tools such as Slack, which is a great tool that you can download for free that allows you to essentially instant message people in a work-like environment. So there are plenty of ways to stay connected. And Mark, I'll be honest, every single day that we're facing this massive crisis, I think to myself, thank goodness we have the internet. I do not know what we would do if we didn't.
Thanks so much, Amber. Hang in there. And I look forward to seeing you in person in the somewhat near future.
Let's hope, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out when I share a few summer staycation ideas for cool tech for the family. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
So I wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking about some recommended gear for this summer. We're obviously going to be spending a lot more time at home than we're used to, maybe having a staycation opposed to a vacation, but that doesn't mean you need to be without some cool tech. So I wanted to run by 5 cool options for you. Starting off with Roku. They have expanded into the audio space. So you probably know that Roku has those sticks or boxes or Roku-enabled TVs that give you access to your favorite streaming services. It's a very popular platform that simplifies the way You can access over 500,000 TV episodes or movies, but there's now a Roku smart soundbar that can enhance the audio out of any TV that you've got, and it's got Roku built in. Plus, there's a Roku wireless subwoofer for deep bass that you can add, which is optional, and Roku TV wireless speakers, these little bookshelf wireless speakers, all of which can replicate that movie theater experience in your home and without breaking the bank. The cost is only $179 for this very powerful soundbar with Roku built in, $179 for that optional wireless sub to place somewhere in your room for that low-end bass, and $199 for a pair of wireless bookshelf speakers that require the soundbar or a Roku TV, but incredible audio all around. Next up, speaking of TVs, Sirona.tv is a really cool invention. It's the only product for seniors that doesn't need training. It turns a regular TV into a smart TV with a very comfortable remote and voice support. It allows you to do things like video call with friends. There's a little camera that plugs into your TV, or you can make regular audio calls if you prefer. Seniors can watch health videos, play games like puzzle games. They can be reminded to take their medications. You can use your voice to ask for things like weather or time or music and a lot more. Sirona.tv is also the website, Sirona.tv. It's $149 and then $14.95 a month after that. Now, you may be working from home, and we all know it can be embarrassing to have missed or dropped calls. So you may consider a cellular booster for your home or your summer home, like a cottage or a cabin. SureCall has the Flare cell phone signal booster that can significantly improve your call quality, as well as text and 4G LTE data. And this product is billed as the most powerful cellular booster of its kind with its patented design. It's a 2-in-1 where inside of this little tabletop unit, which is really cool looking, it's kind of like a triangle. You can place it on a bookshelf or table or desk, but it has both the antenna and a booster inside. So you only need one cable to go outside to the outdoor antenna. That 50-foot cable and outside antenna are included in the box, and it can cover up to 2,500 square feet, or about 2 to 4 different rooms, regardless of the carrier or smartphone. It's built to last, and it's on sale for 25% off over the next couple of weeks. So it's $299 for the SureCall Flare cell phone signal booster instead of $399 at SureCall.com. Next up, for gamers, whether you're into PC games or console gaming, the WD Black P10 game drive is only about the size of a deck of cards. It's a small, durable, and fast external hard drive that's true plug and play. You can use it again for consoles like Xbox or a laptop or desktop, and it can store up to 125 games with the 5 terabyte version. It starts at 2 terabytes for only $89 and then goes up from there. But Western Digital has won several awards for its WD Black line of gaming gear, and I love these external drives that have a 3-year limited warranty as well. It goes up to $149 for the 5 terabyte version, by the way, but again, only $89 for the 2 terabyte WD Black P10 game drive. Great for gamers. Now, finally, you're going to want to eat well while you're playing games, watching movies, and listening to Roku audio, and talking on the phone through your cell phone booster. And the Traeger Ironwood 885 wood pellet grill is awesome. It's Wi-Fi enabled, by the way, but it lets you grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, and barbecue on this grill for your backyard. You can set the style of cooking that you like and the temperature you want on an app, or you can do so with the digital controller on the grill itself. But even when you go back inside, you can monitor what's happening in the grill. There's a separate thermometer for both the grill as well as one for the meat. There is a little probe that you can use to see the temperature of your beef or what have you, your poultry or whatever you're cooking. You can monitor the level of your pellets. So if you need more wood pellets, you'll be notified on the app. There's a sensor in there. There's recipes on this free app for Android and iPhone and a lot more. Again, it's the Traeger Ironwood 885 wood pellet grill for $14.99. It is all kinds of awesome. So as you can see, no shortage of great tech for a summer staycation. Hey, thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out today. Hope you enjoyed it. Boy, that's a lot of alliteration. Tuning into Tech It Out today. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the program. If you want to share it with friends or family or colleagues, feel free to do so right from your favorite podcast platform, or you can go to my website, marksaltzman.com. That's Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. And feel free to leave a rating if you like, a star rating or any comments or anything like that. Or you can reach out to me via email at tech@marksaltzman.com. This program is brought to you by ASUS for those in search of incredible. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more more info on their awesome gear. That's asus.com/US/radio. Asus, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. I'm wishing you a happy, safe, and healthy week ahead, and I look forward to catching up with you next weekend on Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.